Welcome to Functional Horsemanship. This is Roy. He's an old roping horse of mine. You've seen him on some other posts. He's 28 years old. I like to get him out of the corral from time to time, a couple times a week, put a short ride on him, keep him tuned up. He's really a kid's horse. You can put a 2-year-old or an 8-year-old on his back and he walks around like it's a doggone Waterford crystal or whatnot. Takes care of people. Gets a little stubborn in his old age, but I pulled him out this morning because I continue to get a lot of questions on Mecates. I previously did posts on how to rig them, how to carry the lead line if you want to have it to your clove hitch to your horn or with some of your saddle strings. You can do things like that. Whatever's comfortable to you. You can tuck it up underneath your belt in case you fall off or whatnot. It'll pull out, but you've got something to grab onto. You keep your horse from going someplace. But the last question I got was on the rope Mecates is how do you manage the reins, or how do you hold the reins? And it's really no different than any one-piece rein or one-piece rope and rein. I've probably got about 7.5 feet here. I like a little bit of a shorter rein. Of course, Roy's a smaller horse and a shorter necked horse, so 7.5 feet works for me. Connected to the snaffle bit on both sides, of course, through my slobber strap. But I hold the reins when I ride generally one-handed. I just find the center spot in the reins. I don't like marking the center spot. A lot of people like that. I just like to find the center spot of the range, run my hand down and hold them like this. Palm down between my thumb and my forefinger like this. And from here, I can use that neck rein on one side or the other to move him over. If I want to go two hands, use a direct rein. My free hand comes right to the reins like this. And from here, I can back him. Back, Roy. There you go. One more step. I can put the reins back together in the other hand, ride one-handed. So this is generally how I ride, just like this. If I use a direct rein and I want to tip him, I can just run my hand down the rein like this and bring him over. It's a pretty easy way to ride. You want to make sure the reins aren't too long. So if you're trying to back him, you're running into this type of business. So you want to be able to feed your hands down the rein like this. Very easy to do when you're holding them like this. Now, the other day, somebody taught me or showed me that they were taught to grab the reins in the center, palm up, flip them over, and then where the reins create an X, use your other hand to hold them like this. And I don't particularly like that. I think it's a lot easier if the reins were together and you're holding them. This way it's easy to run your hand down there, split your hands away, get a little more contact in the horse, and have some room to be able to tip his head or to back him up or to get him to drop his head or whatnot. That's just how I use rein management, or manage my reins with Mecate and the rope reins here, which are about I think 9/16 or a ½ inch in diameter. Okay. You get some flies bothering you, buddy? You're pretty thin-skinned, aren't you? But if that works for you, hope it does. If that didn't answer that question for you, you can write me back and it'll be a little more specific. But again, sometimes simple is the best way to go, and all I'm doing is finding the center spot of the reins, putting them in one hand like this, and just changing my hands up as I need to. And the good thing about having the center spot here, when you're riding up in the box, is when I change my hands are in the right position to have some contact with the horse. Get him to get that head vertical, or if I have to tip his head one way or the other. Hope that helps. You have a safe journey. It's functional horsemanship.